comes a time where one of the best sets of the year is about to come out this Friday. That's right. This Friday, we actually getting, in my personal opinion, one of the best sets that's supposed to be coming out this year. That's right. Clan Collections Volume 1 and Volume 2 coming out this Friday. I cannot wait. However, a lot of people said that Volume 2 was way better than Volume 1. So we here going to be hating on this set on Haters God Monday. My name is Mr. Sue Nation, aka Savage Armor Jones and Rafa, and welcome to another episode of Haters God Monday. Alright, so we got a lot to talk about. A lot of this is pretty interesting. I like skimmed through some of it just to refresh my memory a little bit. So with all that being said, since we do have a lot of shit to talk about, let's get this started. Alright, starting out with Angel Feathers, we got Prophecy Celestial Ramiel as the main grade 3, and we finally have Celestial support. I'm gonna be real with you, I feel like this is way too late. Again, this is something that should have been getting constant support, but it really hasn't, or at least like every once in a while give us some type of support. I'm actually kind of glad that they're going right back to Celestials, especially seeing that the next volume we're getting like the reverse back, which is going to be actually pretty interesting. There is one particular issue that I do have with Ramiel. She is a very good card and she is pretty interesting. However, I do feel like, judging by just the effect itself, it would have been a lot more better if this was a no seal card. Let me explain. The effect has a lot of the it has a lot of the properties that no seal has. You know, from having cards of the same name onto in the damage zone and all that on the damage zone, and it does have like an effect based around that, which is actually pretty good. It has like a lot of damage zone. Well, Angel Feathers in general has like a lot of damage zone effects, but like when you look at it from like both like the no seals, like the both of the grade 3s, like it definitely feels like if this all wasn't Celestial support and it was just straight up no seal support, this shit would have been low-key bonkers. Now granted, I did hear that like some people are going to be playing some of the no seal support, but I'm gonna be real with you, this card probably would have been like a huge failure if it wasn't for Angel Feathers having a decent amount of supporter cards that can actually alter their own damage zone. If it really wasn't for that, if they didn't really have a lot of decent cards for that, I kind of feel like that this would have honestly failed. Now, outside of that, we also got to talk about the issue with Zamaril, or I think that's how you say her name correctly, like the original Celestial card. You know what? I low key could be wrong on how I'm actually pronouncing her name, but you already know, like the original VR that came out for like Angel Feathers. Um, I'm not gonna lie, this kind of feels similar to Pale Moon when I was talking about last week how not having freaking Golden Beast Tamer is kind of like not having the DLC content in like Modern Warfare 2. Like it kind of sort of feels like the same way with this too, but I also want to be like, if somebody new coming to the game was to pick up this particular card in general, or this particular version of like Angel Feathers, I wouldn't trip too much seeing that in Volume 2, not Volume 2, Volume 4, we're supposed to be getting the reverse. So like it's definitely going to be worth the wait, and you don't necessarily have to use like Zatriel, I think that's how you say her name. But like outside of that, man, this card is actually pretty decent, and I'm looking forward to see how Angel Fella will be playing this in both Premium and V Premium. Next up, we have Shadow Paladins. Now, I'm be real with you, I give no fucks about this clan whatsoever. I'm gonna be real with you on that. I have a huge hatred for Shadow Paladins. I want to say 98% of that hatred is specifically Luard, but that's just me. But then we're getting not only Revenger's back, but we also get Raging Form back, and then he's gonna get reversed in set 4, which is actually going to be pretty interesting. Man, first off, what the fuck took so long, Bushiroad? Like, honestly, Revengers has to be. I'm not going to say it was like the magnum opus of freaking Shadow Paladins, like OG Shadow Paladins, but like it was a heavily requested subclan that a lot of people wanted into the game, and we waited so long in order for them to make more support for it. And it feels like, I don't know, man, this would have been a weird but interesting card to see how it would have played out if like overdress format didn't exist. Like if overdress standard didn't exist and it was still V standard, if it was like V series standard, like honestly, I would love to see how this card would have actually played, because it seems pretty bonkers, and it also seems very interesting because it has this thing where you're able to constantly restand it without losing any dry check value or anything else like that. Of course, you're like retiring 3 rear guards, and it's not an XL clan, so you're not going to be able to abuse it as much as you want to, though. But it's still a pretty good card, regardless. I feel like you're able to get like maybe like a maximum of like 2 rides, maybe. Like I think you have like 3. No, you have like 5 rear guards, you retire 3. You'll have to, yeah, you have the possibility of re-riding this twice. There's like a huge possibility of doing that. But of course you have to be at 4 more damage. I do like the fact that it does do the limit break ability, which I feel like we should have had something like here's the thing, like quick off track thing. Honestly, I feel like that we should have got more effects that were similar to a Pseudo limit break mechanic. I'm gonna be real with you on that. I feel like we probably still would have had a faster standard format. We probably still would have had a faster V series format, but it would have at least it wouldn't evolved as fast as it did. If we had something similar to a mechanic like this. Yeah, of course we'll still have our busted effects right then and there. Yeah, that's understandable. But at the same time, I feel like that if the format was getting way too fast, there should have been more cards like this where it could have been like, hey, we going way too fast. We need to slow the fuck down and actually play the fucking game, instead of being all like, oh, I got the grade 3 first. Even if I don't kill you, you're going to be at 5 damage with little to no cards in hand. Your turn. Like, instead of being all like that, it should have been more something similar to this. I'm not even going to lie on that. It's all like that way, even if the effect is pretty busted, it is at least busted on like a term where it's kind of fair at the same time. I don't know, man. But you know what I mean by this. Now, back on topic, I feel like that this card is very good in V standard. I don't know how it's going to do in premium format, mainly because, in my personal opinion, I still feel like that Luard is still the better Shadow Paladin deck, in my personal opinion, when it comes to premium format, but that's just me. But I can see a lot of shenanigans play out if you're to play this in premium format. I would even arguably say that this will be a deck that I will see like a lot of Shadow Paladin players play with, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Shadow Paladin players, let me know what you think about like this particular card in general. Next up, we have Gold Paladins with Bluish Flames Liberator, with the Liberators and shit like that. I'm gonna be real with you. This is complicated. And in my personal opinion, it was not thought out well. Let me explain. Let me explain. So everybody remembers, like towards the end of the V series, we had this thing where Gugrit and Percival was like this whole tag team duo and whatnot, and it was getting to a point where like a lot of people didn't like playing against it, and it was really busted, and it got up to a point where Bushiroad even had to separate the two. So they basically got this whole divorce and whatnot. Then like Bluish Flames kind of sort of became its own thing for a bit, and then it went with Spectral Dude. I remember that. But then I also remember that Agrovane was the main card that was getting bought out. So it kept getting sold out and everything else like that. And then and then I see that Bushiroad was like, hey, we need to reprint this card. This card can't get reprinted. So we're going to decide to do that, which is actually pretty good. You come up with this card that has pretty good synergy with both Percival and Agrovane, but then you also have an effect where you have to have Percival and Agraville in order to do the effect to its full extent. That's the issue. Because Agrovane of course got reprinted, but Percival didn't. Now Percival got bought out. Now anybody who were trying to play this clan and wanted to get in this particular thing, wanted to actually play, they have to fight the secondary market in order to get a play set of Percivals, which I would not be surprised if Percival was hella high in price. I'm gonna be real with you on that. My personal opinion, I definitely feel like Percival also should have gotten a reprint in this set. And here's a prime example as to a reason why I feel like that this should have been a thing too. So remember when we came out with the not Clan Collection, but the Clan Selection earlier this year, where it was like Volume 1 and Volume 2, and like Great Nature, their reprints was like Pencil Hero, Pencil Squire, and Pencil Knight. Like remember that those were the reprints, and everybody was trying to figure out, well, they didn't necessarily need a reprint. Why are they getting reprints and whatnot? Which I can understand that. However, you also got to remember that they were getting very good Hamsuke support, and we already know, like, let's be real, Hamsuke probably would have been next in line as a tier 1 deck in V Premium if it wasn't for Angel Feathers. But let's be real. The deck is very good. The deck is very solid, and it can make work with those 3 particular pieces. So everybody would have bought out those 3 particular pieces just to play this Hamyan deck. Like, let's be real on that. But Bushiroad was smart and was going big brain mode and was all like, hey, let's reprint these 3 particular cards so nobody buys them out if it turns out that this deck is going to be better than everybody thought it would have been. So I feel like if it wasn't for them reprinting those 3 cards in particular, honestly, those three particular cards would have been sold out. They would have been bought out and everything else, and you would have had to been spending like $8, $9, $10 on commons and rares. Like, let's be real on that. Like, if it even got it to a point where like we started seeing what was it, Hamadan getting constantly bought out because of not only Big Belly, but then this at the same time. I mean, that's the thing. But going back to Gold Paladins, is the card, is like the three cards actually worth playing? Is it actually worth building up? Yes, of course. It even goes with Agraville and Percival. Um, so honestly, it's like the card is very good, but the fact that now everybody has to fight for Percival's makes the card somewhat bad. It makes the support somewhat bad. And I'm gonna be real with you on that. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, if they actually did reprint Percival, like everything would have fallen into place. Like, don't get me wrong, everything definitely would have fell into place, but because of that one particular mess up, there was no like, I'm gonna be real with you, they kind of dropped the ball on this. Next up is Nubatama. Oh my god, I will arguably have to say that this will be one of the best decks to play in premium format. There's no ands, no buts about it. Hozan is everything that Jammy Congo should have been. I love the on opponent's turn passive skill where they play a rear guard and they're all like, "Oh, you played a rear guard? Let me pay this cost, and now you have to discard a card." It's all like, now you have to minus your hand just to play the damn game. I love it. This is honestly something that I definitely want to see for Nubatama since day one. Even when we still had the previous premium format, that broken ass format, I still felt like this card would have shined. I'm be fucking real with you on that. This card would have definitely shined because, like I said, it's everything that Jammy Congo should have been. It's all like, there's no cost to it. It's all like, as long as they have 4 more cards, they have to discard a card every time they place something on the rearguard circle during their turn, which is actually pretty amazing. So that means that every secondary deck, second hand deck that is currently out is just going to minus going against this card. Oh, you're trying to call something for soul? Oh, let's discard. You have to discard a card in order for you to do that. Oh, you playing Grand Blue and you over there trying to call something from the drop zone? Oh yeah, discard a card before you call that shit to the drop zone. It's all like, well, after you call that shit from the drop zone. I forgot, it's after it's placed. But you already know what I mean. He's all like, drop that card, boy. Alright, then you got Gold Paladins, you got Neo Nectars that can both call stuff from the deck. Oh yeah, drop that card from your hand while you at it. Now granted, it doesn't necessarily work if your opponent has 3 cards or less, but let's be real, the fact that you're able to keep your opponent at 3 cards or less just because they were trying to play the game is definitely saying something. And it doesn't matter where it comes from. As long as it's played on the rear guard circle, you have to drop the card, my guy. As long as it hits the rear guard circle. I love the card a lot. I'm gonna be real with you on that. The ride chain looks interesting. I especially like the artwork because for some reason it reminds me of Shijinko from Mortal Kombat. Anybody who played Mortal Kombat Deception would definitely know what I'm talking about. And it's like, yo, man, I like a lot of things about this card in general. I feel like that this card is going to be amazing in both premium and V premium, but I'ma definitely say that this card is going to work wonders in premium format, especially because remember, even if Jammy Congo was still legal in the game, Jammy Congo cannot use Rene. When this card has full access to Rene and everything else. Man, I'm gonna be real with you. Nuba Thomas is gonna be a force to reckon with. I'm not gonna lie on that. There's no ands or buts about it. Alright, so next up is Tachikaze with Ancient Dragon Spindle Driver. I'm fucking conflicted. I'm gonna be real with you on that. I'm fucking conflicted. As a Tachikaze player, I am happy but pissed at the same time. Let me explain myself. Spindle Driver, right? The Ancient Dragon support is very good. Spindle Driver is very good to the point where you can basically put him in any version of Tachikaze. You know, you can put him in Ancient Dragons, you can put him with you can put him with Gaia, you can put him with Anger Blader and everything else. Like you can practically put him with any other grade 3 and he'll work perfectly. I love the effects that that him, Dino Crowd, and even Iguanogorg. I think that's how you say his name, which I'm kind of glad he's back. I'm kind of glad with all the things that you know that this card has to offer. That those three cards in general has to offer. It works well with the equip gauge mechanic and everything else like that. But then I'm conflicted. The reason why I'm conflicted is because it's Ancient Dragon support with the equip gauge mechanic. Now, for anybody who do know how the true Ancient Dragons worked, the true Ancient Dragons all had a passive ability where if you dry check a front trigger, they get a +1 critical. Is all like in seeing that not you know, Spindle Driver, Dino Crowd, and Iguanogorg doesn't have that ability, it kind of sort of upsets everything that the true Ancient Dragons actually did. So it's like it's Ancient Dragon support, but it doesn't necessarily fit that well with Ancient Dragons. Not to mention that not to mention that they all like the true Ancient Dragons, they didn't actually do gauge. They weren't really a gauge mechanic based deck. They were just straight up beat down for no apparent reason with a little sprinkle of gauge. Now granted, you could actually mix up the true Ancient Dragons and the regular Ancient Dragons, because at the end of the day all the effects just want you to have Ancient Dragons in the name. But at the same time, it's a little bit conflicting. Like all the effects are pretty much conflicting with each other. It's like you want to have gauge. It's all like on one hand these three particular cards focuses on gauge. On the other hand, the other cards are just fucking beating your opponent down, while at the same time hoping to God that you actually dry check into at least one front trigger. At least. Like that's like the major difference. However, I feel like that the fact that Spindle Driver is also a rear guard ability is literally its saving grace. Like, let's be real on that. The fact that it also has a rear guard ability is literally a saving grace. But outside of that, I'm definitely still happy for the Tachikaze support. I can't wait to see how it's done. Alright, next up is Ultimate Razor Dueling Flare. So we're getting more Razor support. And I'm actually I'm conflicted. I'm gonna be real with you on that. batch of support that I'm very conflicted on. Because if there's anything that Bushiroad has been doing to Nova Grapplers is being mad inconsistent. Mad inconsistent. They've been mad inconsistent with all the support. First it was Razors, then you had Ashura Kaiser and the same particular thing. And then you wanted to come out with Beast Deity support. And then you came out with God Hand Dragon. And then you started trying to go a little bit more back to, you know, freaking Beast Deity. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, let's bring back Blouse and Victor. Let's bring back both of them at the same particular time where everybody has to choose one of the things or just mix up both of them. Because let's be real, that's all people can really do instead of just playing both of them individually. But then now you're getting more Beast Deity support that came out in Selection. Now we're getting more Razor support that's coming out in this one. And then in Volume 4, we're getting the reverse of in Beast Deity again. So my thing is like, why couldn't this? Okay, actually, to be fair, because I was about to say, why couldn't Ultra Mega Flare just stand by for a bit? You know, why are we getting Mega Flare now? Why are we doing all that? But then you also got to remember that most of this support is either something from Break Ride era or something from Legion era. Like, let's be real on that. If Neo Nectars and, you know, Gold Paladins and all of them are going to get their own legions, you know, Grand Blue as well, like, why not, you know, also give one of the best legions that existed in the game, and that was Mega Flare. Not to mention of how good the card I was actually surprised at how good this card actually was. I was expecting this card to be trash, but it was actually good. And I'm all like, the fact that this goes with the new version of Cat Butler is even more hilarious. Matter of fact, honestly, this feels a lot more consistent than the original Cat Butler. Let's be real on that. It feels way more consistent than the original Cat Butler. This card is actually pretty good. It's all like, I'm pretty sad because it feels like that Razors just need a tiny bit more support before they can actually like go mad ham and Nova Grapplers could finally get back to what made Nova Grapplers Nova Grapplers. But of course, we have to definitely see what the Beast Deity support is now, right? Because, you know, they're getting their reverse finally. They're getting their reverse and all that. So we gotta definitely see what's going on. But overall, I was expected to be disappointed with Mega Flare, but apparently I wasn't. So that's actually pretty decent. Next up is everybody's favorite clan to fear, Star Vader Infinite Zero Dragon. I'm gonna be real with you, I think it is kind of sort of time to start fearing Chaos Breaker Dragon a little bit. Not as much, but just enough. Cause like, you know, Chaos Breaker Dragon was the preparation. Infinite Zero Dragon is just putting in the tip. So right now, before everybody starts hating on Link Jokers, you know, just keep in mind that Infinite Zero Dragon is just the tip. It's not the full shaft yet. It's just the tip. I feel like one of his only saving graces was how bad Star Vader Colony Maker came out. Like, it's not the worst, but it's not the best either. I'm just be real on that. It's kind of meh. However, when it comes to premium format, oh yeah, that's the whole shaft in premium format. I'm gonna be real with you on that. Infinite Zero Dragon and Chaos Breaker Dragon both V Series versions themselves in premium format, yeah, that's the whole shaft. But like in like V Series format, it's just a tip, baby. It's just a tip. All right, next up is Dark Irregulars. Blade Wings. It's weird. It's not even Blade Wing support. It just came out with Blade Wing Reggie, and I'm sitting here like, why? Why just him in particular? Like, I don't have an issue with it though, but at the same time, it feels off. I'm gonna just be real with you on that. But then I also feel like that his effect is very I feel like that his effect is very weird too. Like, I understand what it was supposed to be doing, and I'm guessing that this is supposed to be the new norm for Dark Irregulars. So Dark Irregulars overall looks like it's supposed to be this ticking time bomb deck, in my personal opinion, because that's what um Gastille was like, and this is kind of sort of like what this card is like too. But I don't know, man. It gets +2 critical just for having 10 fucking cards it's oh, I can't, man. I can't. Even though this is like in the bind zone, but still. Yeah, I understand binding like 10 or more cards is kind of like worth it, which is understandable. But then you can deal your opponent 2 damage. If you have 15 cards in the bind zone. And now it's weird because like I was expecting, like I feel like if it wasn't based on binding your units, this card and Gastille kind of sort of would have been a good duo together. But seeing that this card is all about binding cards and Gastille is all about like the regular, oh, let's get 20 plus cards into the soul. I don't know, man. You can't necessarily do too much though, but I also kind of feel like this card is slightly an overkill. How the hell you gonna have 15 cards binded, and not only you get to deal 2 damage on attack swing, but you also get plus 10k and 2 critical with an extra dry check? What the fuck? That's so dumb. I'm not even gonna lie on that. That's way too much to worry about. It's all like, first off, you become a 17k B stick with an extra drive. No wait, not even that. No wait. 15, 20. No, 15. No, not 15. 17, 27. A 37k B stick with an extra dry check, 2 criticals, and you deal 2 damage to me. What type of fuck shit is this? I'm not even gonna lie on that. Now, granted, there's not too many Dark Irregular cards that exist in standard format, and I have to look a little bit more in the premium format. But like, there's not enough like V cards in the V series, like Dark Irregulars, that like bind shit for no apparent reason. But I don't know about this, Chief. Well, I don't know about this, Chief. We'll see though. We'll see. Alright, Gear Chronicle. I'm gonna be real with you. Chronos Command Dragon. This nigga's free. I'm not even gonna lie on that. This card is mad free. So basically the gist of it is you put all of your rear guards back into like the bottom of your deck, and you look at 5 cards on the top of your deck and call any number, and then shuffle your deck afterwards. Think about how free this card is. If you have no cards on the field, you can just basically pay the effect cost and get 5 new free cards. You can get like a full field for no apparent reason. But then think about premium format for a prime example. Just think about regular premium format. Oh, you drew into your over trigger? Why not put that over trigger back into the deck, my guy? Why not put that over trigger back into the deck by being all like, oh, you know, put like, let's place this on the field, then use the ability, and then get like up to 5 fucking new cards on the field, and then we get to shuffle the deck, meaning that shit can come at any particular time, no ands or buts about it, without any warning or anything else like that. Man, y'all actually got it pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie on that. I'm not even gonna lie on that. Gear Chronicle actually got it pretty good this time. I honestly like this way better than their clan selection one. I'm gonna be real with you on that. But overall, I'm gonna be real. This card is pretty much going to be. I'm gonna definitely say this card is gonna see like a lot of play in both premium formats. Like both premiums, like I can definitely see this card being played to like the fullest. Like let's be real on that. No ands or buts. Man, this card is straight bonkers. I'm gonna be real with you on that. And I feel like at the end of the day, I still feel like even though you're counter blasting one, soul blasting one, and discarding the card still feels free. Like let's be real on that. The card still feels free. Alright, now with Granblue, you got one of their other Legion cards. Which I kind of like slightly forgot about though, but this card is actually still pretty good in like the Legion version of it. This card in particular, I'm gonna have to do slight research, but if I remember correctly, I don't think that there's a card that allows you to put something on the top of the deck in Granblue. Because if there is, then we're kind of in trouble. I'm not even gonna lie on that. We're kind of in trouble, man. Being able to like put a card on top of your deck, and with the possibility of it being like a over trigger, is definitely saying something. Now, of course, there's nothing that puts something on top. It's like, of course, none of the 3 cards in Granblue put something on top of the deck. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm saying, if there was an ability that allows you to put a card on top of the deck, this card, in my personal opinion, will honestly be pretty dumb. Not to mention, it's already bad enough. It's already bad enough that I see Granblue as the best deck in premium format right now. Now, I know some people are going to be kind of like, oh no, you're kind of tripping on that. Let me explain why I feel like this is like the best. Let me explain why I feel like that Granblue is like the best premium deck right now. Honestly, it's mainly because it has the best defense in the game. It has the most options in the best toolbox in the game. It has nearly an out to almost every situations, and it also brings up pressure very easily compared to practically every other clan in the game. In my personal opinion, Granblue is the best deck in premium format. No ands or buts about it, but let's continue. The support is basically based around activating effects if you so happen to mill one of your trigger abilities. So I guess you can kind of sort of call like a pseudo Great Nature in a way. Because Great Nature kind of sort of had that, where if you mill like a trigger unit, then you're able to get like the better ability of the two, which is actually pretty understandable. But I'm gonna be real with you, it was already bad enough going against the Ghosty chick. This one is going to be kind of sort of worse in a way. My only issue is how well is this card going to do in V series format? Because I feel like in regular premium format, this card can do pretty wonders. But as far as like regular, V series like only format, I'm not too sure. I feel like it has the pressure and it does have the tools in order to become very good though, but at the same time, man, there's like a lot of other stuff as well. Then next up we're getting up with Great Nature. I'm gonna be real with you. I was very hyped with this. We finally got Chatnor back. AKA, if anybody has seen my previous video when I did the deck profile of Chatnor, I literally explained that Chatnor was literally the very first triple rare that I've ever bought in the original series of Vanguard. When I was just starting out, I started out with Great Nature. It was a very shitty Great Nature deck, but overall, like, I bought my first like triple rare, and it was Chatnor. Chatnor was like the very first one. So honestly, ever since then, I've basically just been like, when it comes to Great Nature, just been playing nothing but Chatnor 90% of the time. However, now we got Chatnor in the V series. I'm kind of mad that it didn't happen when V series was still the main series, but we still got it regardless. So there's that. However, there's a huge issue that I have with the card in general. For one, as much as I like to say that this card is very good because it is, in my personal opinion, the missing piece to in my personal opinion, this card is like the missing piece to everything that came out in set 11. Where we both had Big Billy and Isabel. Like, not only just this card, but also Compass Lion, also Tapir Cat, and then of course the promo that we never got a chance to get in America. Honestly, all of it, despite all of that, it feels more like it feels more like a backup grade 3 than a main grade 3. It's all like everything about Chatnor feels more like a support card than it does a main grade 3. Like, in my personal opinion, that kind of pisses me off in a way. But then when you really think about it, wasn't Chatnor technically always the back? Wasn't it always the support? I mean, it is a break ride, and it is a break ride, so I can kind of sort of see that. But at the same time, man, I was expecting the card to be very good. I was expecting the card to be, worthwhile and all that. And I'm not going to say it was disappointing, because it was far from disappointing. It's actually a pretty decent card. And like I said, it's, in my personal opinion, the missing link to what should have been in set 11. However, at the end of the day, I feel like as a main Vanguard, Chatnor just does not fit the cut at the end of the day. Last but not least, we're ending this video finally with Neo Nectar. And I gotta say, this honestly has to be one of the dumbest cards in the game too. I'm actually happy that this turned out the way this turned out, because for one, I am a huge fan of Musketeers, and it's the main one that I play when it comes to like Neo Nectar. But then at the same time, it has the damn nerves to not only recover 2 cards, but also triple draw check. And then, not to mention that the cards that you return doesn't even have, can be triggers. They all can be triggers. That's amazing. And then you also have Vera's skill, where it's able to, when it trigger dry check, you can put like all the effects on the Vanguard on Vera. and then Vera would give like everybody else like the power from the triggers. That shit's dumb as hell. It's like a mini Asha. It's like a mini Asha, but like not self-centered. In a way, it's like a non-self-centered Asha. Like when you really think about it. But that's about it, man. This has been going on for like a long ass time. How long has this been going on for? Oh my god, almost 50 minutes. Fuck. Okay, let me make this quick. Now, out of all the game things that came out in set 2, I feel like that, in my personal opinion, the premium format main competitors is gonna be Nubatama, Tachikaze, Link Joker, Grand Blue, obviously, and maybe, well, no, I'm not gonna say Neo Nectar. Those are the ones that I feel like is definitely gonna be there. I'll definitely say that Shadow Paladins. Um, I'll definitely say Shadow Paladins. Uh, maybe Nova Grapplers and Link Jokers would definitely be like the cards to look out, like the clans to look out for. And I'll definitely have to say that like Gear Chronicles will be like the dark horse of the set. Cause yeah, I do feel like that Chronos Command Dragon is a very good card. I honestly don't know how Gear Chronicles just like live up against the meta currently. So honestly, I'm gonna just like leave it all like that. But with all that being said, I've been talking for long enough. My name is my name's Mr. Zoo Nation, aka Savage Armor Jones to Rafa, signing out. This has been the Haters Guide.